Hail, hail, and welcome to A Celtic World North America. We are part of the Celtic World YouTube channel that we try and celebrate the worldwide Celtic support. On our show, we try to bring a bit of the North American perspective for our famous club. So we had two matches this week, 6 points in the bag, not pretty at all today. But a second clean sheet in two after Mon's return is lovely to see after the amount of goals we shipped with Nancy in charge. So it has us hanging around in the title race, still 6 points back. Would have been nice if St. Mirren could have helped us out today and scored against 10-man Hearts, instead gave up 2 goals and fucked us a little bit. But so let's get to it. Do some introductions. First, Chris, my partner in crime. Chris, how are we doing today?
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Good to see you. Did you get to watch live today?
Of course. Dual screen CSC.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
And then we have our two pals from Columbus. We've had them on before. I think we were on one of our first shows we did with Jason and Bobby. So, Jason, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. A few years off my life. Those last 5 minutes today, I did not think we were going to end up on the right side of history.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little worried myself. I didn't see them scoring, but we pulled it out in the end. And then last but not least, of course, Bobby. Bobby, how we doing?
Good, brother. Free Palestine.
Good to have you back on. So like I said, it was a busy week, I guess. 2 matches, 2 wins, which was lovely after dropping 6 out of 8 with Nancy in charge. So, and we were talking about it beforehand, and even like I was publicizing the podcast tonight, and the one guy that I said, yeah, we had Jason and Bobby on, and he was like, apologize to your Columbus crew for me. Like, we did not treat their old manager well. Kind of like, I hardly saw any of that notion.
No, I think he got it was tough. It was tough. It was tough 8 games to watch. I think he had an idea, and that idea was wrong. The tactics were, Jason and I have a group text, and Jason hit the nail on the head. And most of those matches around the 60th minute, they gassed out, and we don't have the athletes for that. We just don't. And it's shown by the way they've responded to the way O'Neill plays with his system, and especially with 4 in the back.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's true. I think you even saw it today a little bit, and that we don't have the horses to even run the Martin system. Like I felt like we started off first 10 minutes pressing pretty well, and then it kind of just fell apart, and Falkirk took control of the match. Second half started kind of the same way. Played well.
John McGlynn has a very he reminds me, I love the Scottish League, so I'll watch teams outside of Celtic, and McGlynn he keeps his teams organized. And you guys know it's a free hit for those guys. They're not counting on these points at the end of the year, and they're just up this year, so they want consolidation. And he's fighting for a 6th place spot, but when you're organized like that, it's going to be a slob. It was tough. It was a tough watch.
Well, not only that, you're playing in, they had some rain in the beginning. We're playing on yet another plastic pitch, which is just, if you want to talk about like Scotland's shame, we got to get rid of those damn carpets. But the team out there, Sean, you nailed it on the head. They started out okay this first 10 minutes, were pressing hard, came out, faded hard at the end of the first half, and then about halfway through the second half, even with the subs coming on, man, everybody looked gassed.
Yeah, 100%. Let me throw up some comments from hello to Chris. Chris has been on with us before, I know. Hell, Mpang boy. Our pal Nikki, we had him on a couple weeks ago. him back on. And then hail Strangelove is always out there in the comments too. So
Hell, boys.
have you guys back on. So I guess we could start by talking about like the weekend, a little more positive. Martin returns, which was bound to give us a boost, I felt, and give the fans a boost. And you kind of felt home match. You felt it right from the start that it was going to be a good day, I thought. Chris, how did you? I mean, lineup wise was kind of pretty much the same as today, other than I think Hatate started over Negrin on the weekend. How'd you feel about the side that Martin?
Well, I mean, it very much was. I mean, as soon as the lineup came out, I could tell there was a difference because you had four at the back, immediately, and like you already knew where everybody was going to be playing in the system, and I think going in to Saturday, there was a whole lot of positivity. I felt that maybe we'll I don't know, get the team back together the way that we were kind of playing. And I mean, it was evident from the get-go that we got kind of some of our mojo back. So I was super impressed really with just kind of how they looked again. I know I texted a few people during the match, and one of the things that we were all kind of saying was that it looked like a different team. And I don't know how far down that rabbit hole I'm willing to go to try to figure out like what it looked like. But I mean, it was like people knew where they were supposed to play. They knew the way the system was run already, and you just kind of saw a return of that. So I don't know. I felt positive basically before kickoff that we would hit our form again, and I mean I feel like we did it, especially in that first half.
Yeah, agreed. Jay, well, I guess how'd you feel about Araujo? How do you pronounce his name? I guess both games. I mean, we kind of can go over it in.
So bringing him in, I mean, he got his start in the MLS, so, welcome to the denigrating comments for some of that, but he came over to Europe. He's been very strong coming forward. Little concern. I think he got caught a little too far forward, a little too far inside, especially today a couple of times. But I think he's going to be magnificent for us. Waiting for AJ to come back, which I think rumor had it is next month, next 6 weeks, something like that. I know it was 2 months they mentioned around Christmas time. But now we don't have to hurry him back, and we saw what happened last time. So I think he's going to be a magnificent cover for us. Hopefully he's able to be a little more stabilizing force and can bring some solid attacks going up that right side with the, I think, still seemingly hot Yang.
Yeah, he was not as good as today as he was over the weekend, definitely. But yeah,
that can be said for most people.
Yeah, nobody played well today. I mean, that's true. I can't think of really anybody I would give passing marks, other than maybe Schmeichel, which, I mean, I've been killing Schmeichel all season. He made a massive save today to keep us with the 3 points in the end. My only concern about Araujo is I feel like he's a kind of a red card possibly waiting to happen, and he got lucky on the weekend against Dundee United, that the one that they went to look at VAR on, and that was, again, for me as a former referee, I would say it is borderline. So I think it could have gone either way, and you really can't complain. So like, I'm kind of obviously happy it went our way, because that could have changed things a little bit in that match. But in the end, I'm happy that we have him. I mean, I think Ralston takes a lot of heat, and he was pretty poor, particularly during our last manager's 8-game reign. Just got just overrun and just wasn't equipped to play that position. So now that we got Araujo and that, right back, so hopefully he can do a job there. Bobby, how did you see the first half on Sunday?
Sunday, I was impressed.
Saturday.
Right, Saturday. Sean, I was impressed by how well we did. What I wondered was how much would we have given away being 4 at the back and keeping that tight at the back, and would we lose anything in attack? And it seemed, particularly on the flanks, we did really well. Now, it doesn't hurt that Dundee United are horrible at the moment, and they're kind of horrible at the moment and trending down. But I was impressed. 2 things that stuck out to me was how well we went down the flank on both sides, and also the finishing. Because, I don't want to drudge up. It's best just to forget about it, I guess. But during this run with Nancy, man, there's 2 or 3 games I counted should have been done at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
We say whatever you want about tactics, and everyone's talked about that, and that's water under the bridge. But put your damn chances away. Put them away. And I think we were a little bit more clinical Saturday than we have been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot more. And some of the stuff was very good, actually. I thought we played really, really well.
Yeah, looking at the goals, like Yang's goal, which that might be. I can't remember him scoring a goal from outside the box. He's kind of more that, header around the 6-yard box, and not tap ins, but kind of a lot of tap in goals for Yang. So it was good to see him kind of be able to pick out a corner from outside the box. And then I think even Engels is finished. And I was listening on the radio because I was driving back from dropping my kid off in school up in Massachusetts, and I had Chris, explaining the goals to me in more depth than I was getting on the radio. And Engels I watched the video after Engels' goal. The second goal was nice how he picked it out. We just haven't been taking those chances at all, and it's been just super frustrating to watch. Hence the title for our show tonight, which we can thank Jason for that. Jaysus, can we sign a striker? But we'll get to that when I think we'll roll into the transfer window talk after towards the end. But so I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on the last game. I feel like we have the game today probably more in mind, being it was just a few hours ago. So comfortable win in the end. You almost wish they got more goals just to help out the goal differential a little bit, because usually we're flying in that area, and to be behind Hearts on goal differential is just, that's another one of those things. Bobby, you're saying I think we were talking beforehand, that when does that, I can't imagine that happening. Even we've always been well ahead of the Huns, when it's the league's been somewhat tight, we just score a shitload of goals and don't give up goals. And then the Nancy era, if you can call it that, the giving up 18 goals in 8 games is just fucking unheard.
Can't do that.
Nah,
can't do it. Especially when you have someone like John Kenny, who can't hit his own ass with a banjo. So
I know, and I mean, moving to today's game, it actually got to the point where we weren't creating anything.
Yeah,
and I was actually calling for Kenny to come into the game, because I'm I feel like we need to.
What the hell else?
We need to move Dyson out of the striker position and put him back on the wing. Tanekti was struggling. Wasn't really. But like Jason said, nobody played well today.
No,
I can't think of anybody besides Schmeichel.
But we've seen, even when Celtic is at its best, over the years, you always see these matches. You know, you always see these midweek games at Dundee and these midweek games at Ross County and the bottom of where, again, I was telling you beforehand, this is all a free hit to them. If they get anything out of these matches with Celtic, you know, that's a victory. A victory tonight would have been a draw for a club like Falkirk. So it's a free hit. And to be able to pull it out, you know, not that I didn't love him enough, but I'm telling you, I'm not sure people really, maybe they do, but the job that O'Neill has done with this club and how lucky, absolute lucky, blessed. I can't think of another word, but to have a guy like that, a phone call away, and someone with 20 plus years of international and club management just on the phone, hey, come help us out. And I can't imagine where the hell we would be at without Martin O'Neill right now. It's frightening to think. It's frightening to think about where we would be at.
Yeah.
Amen.
Let me stick this comment up from Strangelove before we move on to the Falkirk game. I think this is we've kind of touched on this a little bit in weeks past, but like that Nancy was unlucky, and it was probably some of his fault too in the failure in transition. But I guess I'll throw it to you, Jason, first. How do you think he was unlucky? Do you think it was more the transition and the timing of things that maybe fucked it for him?
No, Strangelove's nailed it actually here, and that is he came in at the absolute worst time. You know, you're coming in, you're like, congratulations, now you're facing off against what was it? Well, we had the Cup, we had Hearts, we had Europe. I mean, and then the Huns that ended his 8-match reign. That was a big part of it. I would have loved to have seen him maybe be brought in and then have a O'Neill transition time, him covering the next 6-8 weeks while Nancy looked around. We could have brought in guys maybe that are a little more suited towards his play. But the big thing that also killed him that, you know, I mean, we just can't ignore, he didn't move off his tactics. We do not have 3 healthy center halves. We do not have a right-footed center half. Welcome back, Stephen Welsh. You're still bang average at best. You know, what are you going to do with that? You cannot play 3 at the back right now. It's simply impossible. And he would not move off those tactics. And we've seen that happen. That's what ran Brandon out of town. We don't have
the athletes either. We don't have the athletes. I saw there was a time in the Livingston game. I don't know if anybody remember. I think I may have said something to you, Jay. Is Trusty making a 20-yard run and just getting the ball at the last moment, and we didn't have it. And in fact, he did that tonight. But we don't have that player, that athletic player in the back who's comfortable on the ball. We just don't have the athletes. Never mind the team. Those athletes don't exist. Scales in a million years couldn't play with an overload and 2 in the back, you know, 70% of the time. He's not capable of it.
Sure. Well, Nancy's 3 at the back in most cases was 1 at the back, really.
When he overloads like that,
and it was just too much for Trusty. I mean, probably did his best to cover. You know, I mean, he's faster than Scales and did his best to cover up some of the flaws in that system. But it was just too much. Like, and so
it's over with now, though, isn't it?
It is, thankfully. And I was one to not that I was defending him or his style or anything, but it was just
like
too soon to end it.
I work Monday through Friday. We all do. So we go down on Saturday mornings and we watch football, and we want results, but we also want to be entertained. And I think, you know, I loved Ange too. Ange wanted to, if you ever watch his documentary, he talked about how his old man there was a way his old man wanted him to play, and it was entertaining football. And I think Nancy wants that entertaining football. But at the end of the day, this is all about results. I couldn't give a score to what as long as we get the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's a different animal. It's a different beast. Glasgow's a different monster. You got to get the 3 points. Entertain me, but get the 3 points. It's cutthroat.
It is.
Yeah.
I think we used to want to be more entertained. Now it does get to the point where like, just give me the 3 points. Like today,
Yeah.
like however it happens, make it happen. Like until we actually maybe invest in the, side and make it up to par. We are missing guys right now, but it's like the
seeds were sown in the summertime. I'll go back to this guy up here is one of the brightest guys I know, and he knows his football. And Jason's hit it on the head 100 times, in my opinion. One of the smartest guys I ever met, and he said it brilliantly in a chat him and I had. We didn't replace Kyogo, we didn't replace O'Reilly and Kuhn, and you could go on. And it's about, all right, you let's parlay. If you want to go, then go. But we have done a piss poor job of replacing guys. Let Kyogo go. If Kyogo wants to go, let him go. Let Van Dijk go. Let him go. Earn money on those transfers. But you got to replace, or at least a little bit, try to place like for like. And we failed miserably over the last year in that department. And it's paying, and you see it now. You see it now.
Yep. So I guess moving on to today's match time, we've kind of broached on it a little bit, but so the midday kickoff, midweek for us Americans and Canadians, for the ones who are in the chat too, can be difficult. So I know for me, like I watched sitting at my desk in my basement while I was pretending to work. Barely got anything done for those last 2 hours. It was like my last 2 hours of the day. But I look forward to those ones, these like weekday ones. I mean, a ton. So like I always have fun with it. So, but shitty match, and I feel like I got to stop looking forward to these matches so much because that's a fucking letdown. Like the way, I mean, we got 3 points, but it was just so ugly and boring. But
that's where we're at right now, Sean. That's
yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yep. Chris, how did you? So you were able to watch at work, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, I did the same thing. I was, just split screening the whole thing and trying to get some work done. Mm-hmm. I think MartinO'Neill, his system, as long as we have the cojones to go out there and do what we're capable of, I think we can always get results. I think, I texted you, Sean, that, this is one of those matches you could look back at the end of the season and go, hey, I don't really remember what happened in that match. Like you want to ask me like who scored the goal and, in what minute they did it. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you in the end of the season. Right. But, for a match like that, that's what it takes to win the league. Consistency. And going to Falkirk midweek and it's pissing down rain, that doesn't sound as much fun, right? But like you go out there and you do it, and it was not a pretty watch. I think there's too much slack passing coming from the back. I think Scales has some indecision issues. I think Trusty has some indecision issues. I think sometimes like little kids playing football, they'll stop and like pick up a flower or like stare off at clouds or whatever. I think we do that at times. And Rio Hatate, I mean, good grief, man, fucking kick the ball. Don't like he tries to do some flair kind of stuff, and you're like, just stop it, man. Just pass the ball consistently to your teammate. It's not hard, but like we do it every single match. But I think overall, Martin's system kind of works that, some of us can be playing half-ass and we still get a result. So, I mean, I think that's the difference is, we can at least dig it out. I mean, we just 3 points, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And don't try to dwell too much on this one because Lord knows we need help at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And I put that last comment out about Trusty seemed lost at times, and I see some people in the comments kind of blaming that on the pitch, which there were times, and that might be it. And I think I posted on social media there was 3 or 4 times where Trusty looked like he forgot how to use his right foot, and all 3 of those times, 2 or 3 of those times created chances for Falkirk because he just he couldn't get the ball out of his feet and it just looked like a disaster. So I don't know, maybe it was the pitch that caused that problem for him, that he just couldn't figure out how to kick a ball with his right foot. But so that was frustrating to watch. And that's the Strange Love again looks like a pitch, looked like a slip and slide from back in the day.
Yeah. The one thing that I saw today that I didn't see in O'Neill's first rainer on Saturday, back passes again. Here it is. Oh, we're getting close to the 18-yard box. Nope, let's drop it back and then drop it back and then drop it back again. And so I hope we can chalk it up to being tired. We can chalk it up to, as Bobby pointed out, again, keeping that team tight and tidy and hard to break down. But
I don't think
seeing that today, I was a little disheartened to see so many back passes.
Jay, we don't have the other thing is we don't have that guy. One of the things that people, when he first came to the club, one of the things that loads of people picked up quickly, and if you sat and watched it, and I'm sure you and I have talked about it, was the off the ball movement of Kyogo was really Larson-esque. And I don't use that word lightly, but the way he moved off the ball created space, made chances. Now, he might not have put them all away, but created space, made chances, and created problems. And that player doesn't exist at all right now. So when you see those things, understand that's one of the things I harp on John Kenny and a lot of times Maeda, but I think he's disinterested. I don't even know if he wants to be there, but you got to show. If you're going to be that focal point in that offense, you got to show. And I think, Jay, we just don't have that player right now. So it's getting it, bombing it down the wings and lumping it in from and see if secondary balls come down. And hell, tonight we got lucky with a damn corner. When's the last time we scored on a corner? but we don't have that. I remember watching one of the goals from Nancy's time there, and the guy I had talked to you guys about. I had a friend that worked with the crew, and he said, "Well, no, that's a Nancy goal," and it's like you get to that focal point, and we don't have that player. So a lot of that frustration, guys, is we don't have that player up front at all.
And then I think the midfield was kind of invisible, the central midfield. I know the first half, I was like, is McGregor even playing? I didn't see him receiving any passes and being able to spread it around. And Jason, you're right, 100%. It was a lot of just the horseshoe, Araujo to Trusty to Scales to Tierney, and then swing it back around, and couldn't get into the middle to Engels or McGregor to get things moving up the pitch. And we're just, I think, lacking in a lot of areas. But striker probably. I mean, I think that's the obviously the number one need for me right now. We're so lacking in that area.
The thing about playing Maeda up top, right, is that he's not big enough for some of those teams that we play, because they all have bigger center backs. Like tonight was a perfect example. If you've got two big center backs and they can just close down Maeda and not give him the space to run through, you shut down Dyson Maeda. Period. Yeah. He's not big enough to hold up the ball. I don't think his runs have ever really been, I don't think they've ever fit him unless it's out wide. And the only way that you keep Dyson Maeda out wide to let him do his thing, because when he's interested, I'm with you, Bobby. I think when Dyson Maeda is interested and he's going for it, he causes problems that nobody else can see on the pitch, right? Yeah. He's in places that you don't expect him to be, but that only really works when you've got a strong number 9 going up top in the middle that's fighting for space, that's able to make those runs. Because I mean, you said it perfectly. Kyogo's runs off of the ball created space.
Yeah, the work rate he did.
Yeah, because it was always giving those two center backs something to think about. Because is he gonna go? Is he not gonna go? Is he gonna go? Is he not gonna go? And the way he would move things, that if we don't sign a striker this month, this window, right now, tomorrow, like we need help. There's no question about it. We have got to sign a striker this window. And I mean, just as a wish list, I want them to be quality. I don't want, some cat that's 36 years old that's, been getting the halftime at League 2 in France. Like I want like a top tier like striker to come in and actually deliver what we need them to deliver.
Yeah, 100%. And like you, I mean, there's those, you see some of those names that are out there, like the Kieran Valley from Hibs. You're seeing him mentioned.
I like that guy.
I wouldn't be opposed to him. I do like him, but I still feel like we need. I'm aiming for better, like in my mind. Like, whereas they're saying he's like a £6 million or $6.5 million, something in that range. We're probably getting over, pay more because we're buying from inside the league. But to I want a 10 million, almost a record signing kind of type.
You're not getting that guy in. You're not getting that guy in January.
In January, and that's the problem. So
you're not getting that guy in January.
You've seen Callum Wilson, the guy, but again, that's more like what Chris was saying. Do we want a 34-year-old guy who will probably come in making a lot of money, and maybe we just get him on loan for till the end of the season? So like those.
Well, and Sean, that's a very good point that you bring up there, which is we've brought a guy in on loan for 6 months before, and it's worked really well. Looking at you, Robbie Keane. Looking at you.
Jay, Chris Bellamy.
Yeah, Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy, thank you. Yeah, my brain derailed there. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, yes, bring those guys in for like 6 months if we cannot truly sign what's going to be a striker who's going to come in and make a difference. Bring in a known quantity who's going to be he's going to be able to come in, put the ball in the back of the net and then work on signing somebody that we're going to keep for 4 years or so in the summertime. Because knowing this board, we ain't signing anybody.
You're not even seeing a lot of. I feel like in years past, you'll see names kind of thrown about. So we're not even seeing those really. So it's hard to even speculate. You're not seeing Bowie from Hibs as a rumor. It's more like a wish list guy. for Celtic. You know, like they don't. Does Hibbs even want to sell him?
Yeah.
Like in the league to us, like I don't know. I wouldn't, but I mean,
I mean,
I
at
guess
this
they
point in
can't turn
time,
away.
why would they? I mean,
Yeah.
why would they?
Yeah.
Keep him on. He's going to continue to do well for them, and then go from there. You know, I mean.
So I don't know what the option is, and then like we were saying, is Dyson interested? And I would always be the one to say defend him. You saw like people saying after he scored the goal on the weekend, like he barely celebrated. Is he interested in the club anymore? And I think like trying to read guys like that is useless, I think. And he's a different kind of guy. Like, so like,
yeah,
like scoring the fourth goal when you're not going to celebrate as much. And I think, and I did see people like he was frustrated after, missing, 5 other chances that were probably, just as easy. So like, it was almost like a relief and not to, so he didn't celebrate the goal as much as he should, but he has, and I've always been his biggest fan. And I mean, he's just been poor to put it mildly. I mean, he's just struggling to get any touches right. Even today, like Chris, you were saying, like he's not a guy to hold the ball up, and I mean that showed today. Like I think he did try to do it a few times today, and it just doesn't come off. Like he just doesn't have probably the strength to do it, and then 2, the touch to be able to take in that pass with it. I mean, it tends to bounce, 10 feet off his foot every time he gets the ball, even in space. But with a guy on his back, like he's just not equipped to do that. Like, and
he's just not big enough.
Yeah. So, so I don't know what the answer is. It's not Johnny Kenny. And excuse me, I'm sorry, I tried to hold that in. So I don't know. I think we'll hopefully find out, like Chris, you said, in the coming weeks. Tomorrow would be even better. I think we have a little bit of just having a Scottish Cup match over the weekend against a lower league side. We're, I guess, not as desperate at the moment, but it's going to start creeping up, and particularly like next weekend is a massive match away at a Tynecastle to try and cut that lead in half that they have over us. So I mean, in the end today, I mean, just to finish up on Falkirk, I mean, like we said, 3 points is 3 points. And Chris, you're right. Like this is one of those matches, like I guess throw it into like Ralston late header in the Highlands to win, like from the 97th minute. And then I remember it was one of Bada got one against Dundee United. Matches that you didn't think, even this year, like the McGregor at St. Mirren. Like those are the kind of 3 points that win you the title at the end of the season. Like they add up. So as much.
And I tell you what, unfortunately, I unfortunately, Sean, Hearts is doing that. They were 10 men down. They were a man down away at Dundee and playing terrible. And you should see this save by Gordon, and they're doing that. So there's that steal there that we've had in the past, which is kind of frightening.
Yeah. I mean, they did it today. They were down to 10 men very, very early in the match, and scored 2 goals to beat St. Mirren. Good from that is Beningame, or whatever, how do you pronounce the name, will miss Celtic match with suspension for his red card today. So, and he's one of those guys on Heart. So I do think is I mean, obviously they're a good team. I mean, I've kind of tried to downplay them all season, like they'll start falling apart, but
it hasn't happened, it hasn't happened. And I talked about it. You and I, you guys, we talked about it before we went on. The best number 9 in this league is at Hearts. He's not at Rangers, and he sure as hell ain't at Celtic. The best number 9 in this league right now is playing for Hearts. That's scary.
That's true. So I guess moving on to, well, first let me play our subscribe clip. I got a new subscribe clip to play finally. I guess I can't complain because Gav made us some new thumbnails. So bear with me 1 second.
How's it, bro? Loving a Celtic world. It's fantastic. Definitely worth a subscribe, hey. How's it, bro?
Sorry, trying to play it again. Yeah, so if you get a chance, give us a like and subscribe on the channel, to help you find us, because I ditched my Twitter again finally. Got back on there to publicize the show, and now they have AI child porn images on there, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm out of here. I'm not. So I lost half of my show promotion, which I don't even know if it did anything anyway, but yeah, so give us a like and subscribe so I don't have to go on Twitter and promote this show. But moving on then, I guess the big thing now, and we've been kind of touching on it just in talking about the Falkirk and Dundee United game, transfer window, and striker obviously is an important need we need to fill. But what other positions, I guess, I'll go to you first, Chris. I mean, outside of striker, which I think probably all 4 of us would say is the most important thing to fill right now, what do you think is next on the list of things that the board should shop for and probably won't do by the end of January?
I mean, to be honest, I really want 2 strikers. and
not just one.
Well, I mean, you've got to get at least one, right? But if you get another attacker, let's just call him an attacker for lack of a better term, somebody that can play out on the wing, can kind of do what Dazameda does, right? Where you can kind of put him wherever and he can be an attacker. But I think because you're not going to get Jota back this season, I think you need to bring somebody else in, because I mean, what happens if Tanetki goes down? What happens if Yang goes down? You're at James Forrest and who out wide? Negrin?
Balikwisha.
I mean, so I think
God.
Imagine that nightmare.
I don't think that I don't think that you're gonna get 2, but I would, if it was me running the club, I would be looking for an out and out striker, somebody that can hold the ball up, somebody that's big, and then I would go for somebody that's an athlete that's got the speed and capability to put them in the back of the net. Outside of that, I really think recalling Welsh was a good thing, but yeah. I'm continually going to be worried about that back line, whether it's KT going down like today. I mean, I know he just took an elbow in the face, but God, if KT goes down, who do we have at left back? Sriracha and who? I mean, the Mexican lad, he seems like a pretty good player, but we're gonna have him back and AJ and Tony Ralston. So I mean, I'm less concerned about that, where I am concerned about on the left. So I mean, for me, I think somebody up top, and then I really think you need to get another defender, somebody that's going to have that kind of capable defense that makes me feel comfortable, like a CCV. It's not going to happen. You're going to get somebody mid-tier, but I don't think you'll see anybody midfield unless somebody leaves. I don't see those guys getting replaced. So the midfield, I think's fairly solid as far as that goes. But I think there's going to need to be a better plan for who's coming in, who's staying, who's going, at the summertime. I think right now more than anything, just get players in the door, and let's get them up to speed, and let's go win this league.
Yeah, agreed. How about you, Jay? I guess position, like I said, position wise, outside of striker, what do you think is most important?
Next one I would sign would be a right-footed center half. I know Chris said welcome back. Well, he's how many chances is he going to get? But a right-footed center half, also covering the inevitable CCV injury. He's not been consistent in the last 2 years and been hurt a big chunk of that. So that is screaming for coverage right now. And if I had to pick one more outside of that, we got to get a right wing in there. Congratulations again, James Forrest. Your scoring record's magical. You're also my age. If Yang cools off, which it could definitely be. Hey, knock wood, I want my guy to keep on doing it. But a right wing in there. Jada's gone for the year. So we gotta bring someone in. Strangelove, I love you to death, but man, we got so many damn central midfielders right now. Yeah, we need to have a clear out in the summer. But if those three, we're gonna say striker, we're gonna say right-footed center half, and we gotta have a right wing in there.
Bobby, how about you?
It took my thunder.
We're all kind of on the same page. Like,
yeah, and it's glaringly obvious, Sean. It's glaringly obvious. And the other thing is competition helps, competition helps. But someone in the back is definitely needed. But the most obvious is someone who can actually take a ball and kick a ball and put it in the net right now.
Yeah,
I'm not hopeful. Mostly I'm not hopeful because oftentimes that players just doesn't exist in January. But I don't know. If pressed right now, I would take a flyer on the guy from Hibs, Bowie, who had a great goal. I remember the goal to get them in Europe early in the season. It was one of the best I've ever seen. And but Scottish strikers, we haven't had too much success with guys outside of Griff. But I kind of agree with Chris and Jay.
It's probably, and like Chris said, even is it two strikers? Do we need two strikers? Probably. And then and Jay, I would totally agree that right-sided center back, I think is
to kind of go back to how this was derived, right? Like we never replaced Kyogo. We never replaced Adam Ida. Like we never replaced any of those guys that were big, that Kuhn, for example. We haven't replaced him.
No.
So I mean, you could kind of go down the list and just kind of say, that's what we need to do. The real question is what are they gonna do? Because nobody knows that. Like who's signing the players?
Right.
And it was brought up in the chat earlier. It's like we're gonna get no one. And I think realistically, we as fans going to need to have a long, hard look at ourselves and say, we need to think about what the rest of the season is going to look like with what we have right now. Because, Chris, you pointed it out. Who's looking at these players? Who's signing them? I mean, we've all seen the chat that O'Neill's knocked a few players back, that Sean Maloney is looking through and trying to find guys right now. I mean, hell, we don't even have the rumors like the latest from Dudu Duhan anymore. Hell, we're looking at free transfers. I looked at free transfers the other day, nearly offed myself because I looked at Ryan Kent and said, well, there's a chance. No, man. We're probably going to end up just staying pat, and then we have to say, where do we go from here?
Just 1 second before this idea flies out of my head. I tell you what, just spitballing really fast, boys. Whatever happens at the end of the year, it'll happen. I think going forward, and I mean going forward in the summertime, going forward, we need to have a conversation with MartinO'Neill and ask Martin, do you want to elevate a position at Celtic? Put him in a position to where he can maybe make those decisions. I think going forward in the summertime and next year, I think there needs to be a position at Celtic for guys like MartinO'Neill.
Here's that.
Yeah, I don't know what
If he wants it, I have no idea. I mean, does anybody know who the hell's making the decision right now? But I think going forward, his man management skills, the 20 plus years of international and club soccer, he should have a voice at a table that directs his team going forward. In my opinion,
my only fear for that is that he becomes like the kind of conduit between the board and the fans, and then he becomes
kind of that now.
Yeah, I mean he is, but does he become?
He really is. He's the
synonymous
man
with the board, and like I don't want to see him knocked down in any way. So that's my. But I do agree. I think he is like integral to the club, like to as this almost like father figure kind of role to keep things rolling, and particularly this year. I mean, it's been. I mean, the job he has done has been just.
Well, you can see the confidence return in the team. Even today, as shitty as most of the play was today, like there was at least still that confidence, and that came directly from MartinO'Neill. I'm with you, Bobby. I think there has to be somebody at the club, whether it's him or somebody else. It's kind of like I don't know if it's like recruitment or whatever, but kind of the man manager of not the players more than anything else. Just the players. You know,
I think Chris, I think his voice needs to be heard.
Yeah, agree.
I think his voice needs to be, whether it's the dominating voice, probably not, but I think the guy who came to Celtic, now granted it was a different era, completely different era, but his ability to improve Celtic, again, I know it's a different era, but his ability to improve Celtic his first time around, where I remember a guy in the summertime, young MartinO'Neill, walked through those doors, and there's these supporters that are cheering, singing his name, and he says to the supporters, he says, I'm going to do everything I can possibly to bring some success to the club. And his first year, he wins a treble. Yeah. That voice needs, I think he identified guys. Granted, again, he had more money. Sutton, Hartson, Lennon. He knew what he wanted. He already had assets in Larson and Lubo. Petrov was there. Jason and I waxed lyrically about that back line of his teams, the ones that win in Europe. So I think going forward, boys, just my opinion, I think there should be some input from guys like MartinO'Neill. And by the way, he bleeds for the club.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of fun facts in the comments about he's 73 years old. We're going to be the death of him, dude. I'll tell you, I was watching the post match interview with him, little old man out there in the rain, and I'm just like, holy hell, man! I just hope he doesn't get the flu, you know. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited for the other guys in there. We got to bring in a recruitment team. We got to bring analytics in. Ampang Yang and Strange Lover up there with that. Strange Love, you talked about the best GM in the MLS. His name was Tim Bezbachenko. He was here in Columbus, and he's over down in England right now. So that's not going to happen, but it would be nice. It would be nice.
I do feel like it's tough to compare MLS to and any of those roles, and you saw kind of with Nancy, but even the general manager. just the way the whole system works in terms of how the money, how players are distributed to teams, and it's a weird setup. And I do think the whole lack of promotion relegation does play a factor into that too. That,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. It plays a major factor. Maybe the biggest, Sean.
yeah, and that partly probably in the failure of Nancy in succeeding at Celtic, like is you have that leeway in MLS, like to be able to lose a game and not feel like it's the end of the world. Whereas like in Scotland, it's totally not the case, and it ended up.
And it was magnified with him coming in the middle of the year, and the first match was against the top of the team that's flying at the moment. So that didn't help either.
Yeah, no, throw up Ampine boys. We need to recruit, and it's true. Yeah. Like, I feel like our recruitment is looking at our old players, seeing what they're doing, and then that Israeli guy kind of feeding us, and then Manchester City loans.
Yeah.
And that's not a recruiting system in any way. It's and the other one was, I guess, Brendan kind of digging into his contact book to find some of his old players at Leicester and and stuff like that. Like
Ange brought his Japanese knowledge in, and that paid dividends for us. And I think that's definitely something to be taken into account. But man, eventually you're gonna run out of bandwidth with those guys, and we saw that the second time Ange bought a bunch of dudes, and it's like, there were a lot of misses. O's came good, but he came good away from us. Yang came good, I guess, kind of. Fingers thoroughly crossed. I am, a member of the Yang gang, but how many other guys were misses on that second Ange window? So you gotta have those dedicated personnel in there to look around, see who's out there, grab an Ayer out of the Norwegian league. I miss my giant Norwegian 6'5" son, and I mean, we got to be able to find those guys to come in. Well, and that's got to come from somewhere besides the manager.
That comment about having a recruitment team, like, that's something that I remember having conversations 10 years ago about there needs to be a director of football with scouts that are continually trying to find talent and youth academies and feeding clubs and just all of this kind of stuff, that unless you're really involved in the nuts and bolts of how the system is not only structured in Scotland, but around the world to find, talent to bring them in, unless you have a dedicated recruitment team for that and really invest in finding those players, you're never going to truly find all of the things other than the things that you find in whatever network that you're involved with. But I think the main thing is that as supporters, being not allowed to be part of the the fan media asking questions at a press conference, for example,
it's a bad look.
That's a bad look, because it's like you're going to get whatever we're going to give you, and you're going to be happy about it, and you need to go and buy a new kit this week, and you need to do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's where my frustration is that it's not that we don't, everybody's been saying that we needed to have like a full engagement squad that finds talent and develops players. And I mean, shit, how much was invested in all of the training academy stuff at Lennoxtown, or the youth academy stuff? Like, I'm always getting stuff about it, right? So yeah, that's a good positive thing that we need to be a part of. But when you don't engage with supporters and people don't get the questions answered, I mean, the club's going to sign who they're going to want to sign, and they're going to, knock back people that they don't rate or whatever. But like, as supporters, we need to be able to ask questions, and I don't think we're going to get that. It's just a bad look from the club's perspective that they don't care what I think. They don't. I could tell them all day, every day that they need to have a number 9 up top, and somebody, Michael Nicholson could look at me and be like, "No, Chris, you're wrong," and then tell me all of the reasons that Gazameda or Johnny Kenny up top makes perfect sense. But there's nothing I can do about it. So I mean, I that's where I'm frustrated is that we talk about how we're gonna how these are the things that we want to see, and everybody's all saying the same thing. Supporters all over the world are saying the same things about, like, God, we've got to get a striker. Oh, we need this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, like, we need to start making bigger decisions of that, because it is bigger than just this season and right now. This is over the course of a long time that's developed some of the issues that we currently need to resolve. Anyway, I'm getting off my soapbox now.
No, you're good, man. We love when you get on the soapbox. So.
Hey, what's Adamita doing?
I only throw out the one.
Don't do that.
And it's true. Strange Love, again, talking about like the analytics kind of side of football and other sports, and like, because I think there is kind of a crossover in that. And I think he's going beyond talking about just bringing over MLS, but it's talking about baseball, and it's talking about the athlete, like the analytics behind athletes and stuff like that, which I think like Hearts has brought that on, and like obviously like it's made a difference in what they have become. So like it's all about modernizing Celtic in all kinds of different ways. One, the youth setup involving analytics in your recruitment, actually having a recruitment team set up or a director of football, as opposed to just letting the manager and the board, who really don't have the maybe not have that football knowledge to make these decisions for the club. So I think it's just a top to bottom thing at Celtic right now, that it's gotten really stale, and we're seeing the effects of it this year particularly, and we've seen it in stages in other seasons too. Like it just hasn't been, even in the Brendan times when we were having some success, like we'd go through stretches where it got ugly for a while. So I don't know. I do think and maybe we need to have James. We've had James from Huddle Breakdown podcast on here a couple times. He might be a good guy to get back on here.
To have the analytics.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Excuse me, but he's actually one. I think he's actually one who I think wanted to stick with Nancy based on the analytics of things, to basically not dump him. I think he said based on whatever they were showing, it was that we would have more success by the end of the season if we kept the Nancy. So I'd be interested. I mean, we'll never know, but maybe we need to get him on to talk about that a little bit and dwell on the Wilfred Nancy era just that much more.
Let's save that for July.
So I mean, we'll see what happens. I do think, like, if we don't come out of this transfer window with at least one striker, it's criminal. And I've been saying what this board has done, and what the board and Dermot Desmond, what they have done to this club in the last 10 months is borderline criminal. Like, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they just continue with that, and don't bring in that striker. So, I guess I'm foolish for believing in them. So, I guess our last question on the transfer window, I guess, quick yes or no. Do we get a striker in the transfer window, Chris? Let me preface it with more. Do we get a £5 million plus striker in this transfer window?
We get a striker. I don't think it's fair to judge what kind of quality we're going to get. But I think we'll get a striker.
Okay. Jay.
Not comment. I was kind of joking a little bit before, but we have to have a hard look of what if no one comes, and I think no one's going to come.
That's fair.
Bobby, break the tie.
They're gonna break the wind. Is it Mbappe's coming, man?
Yeah.
We're gonna break that 12 million.
Yeah. No.
You just killed poor Shawnee.
We're gonna spend every bit of money we have in the bank on Mbappe. We probably don't even have enough still, even with all the money we.
I'm gonna fall in between the two of them, and say we'll get somebody, and he won't be worth a piss.
Well,
because that's Celtic.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about something more positive then. In 3 weeks, the failing, and we've talked about it in previous weeks, but I know me and Chris have been going, and I knew Jay and Bobby. We've talked previously, and I know you guys are going too. So I'm gonna throw up a picture, and it's and like I always say, like these events. This was South Bend.
Okay.
A year and a half ago. I don't know if you remember. This is me and Chris coming out of that Celtic Foundation dinner and finding you guys. And so getting to get together with your pals, your Celtic pals, we don't have that, as readily available over here as a North American Celtic supporter. I know
big country and we're spread out.
Yeah, we're all over the place. And it's good we get to, you guys, Jay and Bobby, you guys get to meet up in Columbus to watch games. But, getting to see all those guys that you're, sending texts to about games in the WhatsApp group chats, in Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever you're doing, these events are priceless for me. So I'm excited.
I agree.
So I know you guys the thing
starts
on.
Have you been to in Philly before? Either one of you?
No, last time I was in Philly was 2012 Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that was a hell of a time. I had a great. I told you earlier. Jay might have seen me with less clothes on than normal. That was one of them.
It was hot. It was hot that day, so.
I was roasted, bro.
There was a lot of sunburned Celtic fans.
Sean, we got a. He doesn't come anymore. There's this little guy, little Kevin, and Kevin's from just outside Belfast. And him and I that day, I'm not built for that no more, man. We were dying, bro. It was so damn. I couldn't get drunk because I was sweating like a horrid confession.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember that day. That was right at the beginning of my kind of knowing Celtic fans outside of my area, I didn't really go to the club. So I knew a couple of the guys from the Fido Philly CSC, but I didn't, know a lot of guys, and I met so many guys there that weekend. That was definitely the whatever, that Real Madrid. And I didn't even get to sit with the in the Celtic supporter section because my cousin bought me a ticket, and I was like, oh, thanks. But it was on the opposite side of the stadium, and I sat with him and got to watch you guys roast in the sun all day. I think I was in a little bit more shade. And
Jay went. Him and David went, and Kevin and I, the guy I talked about earlier, little Kevin and I went with the Cleveland boys, and we took a bus, and I was absolutely legless, brother. They had booze on. They had like a couple kegs on the way, and it was the greatest damn time. It was one of the may have been the first time I met Jimmy, yeah, and those guys. But I went with the Cleveland guys, and just, you want to talk about a mess.
I can believe it.
Oh,
I can believe it.
Chris, I'm going to throw this comment up for you. I don't know. You'll have to talk to this guy. So you guys are close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, get to Nashville. That's a great town.
Yeah, that's Chris's new CSC now. So
yeah, it is. Come on down.
Start it up. So
have a good time.
So I know there's and I think it's already sold out. Actually, they're doing like an Italian restaurant dinner, I think, on the Thursday night. And Peter Grant and Tosh McKinley and Tony Hamilton from the Celtic Foundation will be there. I was looking at getting tickets, but it sold out like almost immediately because I think it is kind of a smaller kind of event. But
it's like 30 people.
Yeah. And then, so I think Thursday night's going to be me and Jay are going to be warming up. Bobby and Chris are going to be going hard all night.
100 miles an hour, baby.
But
they
then,
used to call him Grant. They used to call him Pete the Pointer. He was a defendant. Peter the Pointer. Look that one up. It's funny. I love the great thing about Scotland are the nicknames.
Agreed.
But then we got music all weekend, like Friday and Saturday. I know there's going to be. I don't think it's Ray Coleman now. It's John O'Callaghan from one of the Irish bands here, Jameson. Jason Lewis, who he was playing in South Bend, I think, the weekend we were there. I didn't get a chance to see him that weekend, but he's a good Irish rebel singer. And then on the Saturday night, my favorite band, and I told you I'm like a groupie for them. Bogside Rogues will be playing on Saturday night. Another good, probably the best.
What's the name again?
Band. Bogside Rogues.
I'll have to look at some of the music.
Yeah, they're really good, and that, like,
they do the Rebs or just Celtic?
Yeah, more Rebs than Celtic. They're
Yeah.
not I think they'll learn a few Celtic songs and just kind of reading it off. I remember they played a couple Celtic songs, but you could tell like they were like just like almost reading it off, like didn't know the words to it at all, but reading it on. But they're a solid band though, and I thought like they're down in Irish Weekend down in Wildwood every year, 3 nights in the Anglesey pub tent. Like,
are they the ones that always play at the Shore?
Yeah, they play at the Shore.
Yeah.
So it's a great weekend, like, and hopefully, again, Chris, I'll put this up there. This is that guy from Nashville. He said he's going to Philly, so we get to make some new friends, see some old friends. It's always an amazing weekend, and anytime we get to do something like that, and then possibly in Detroit a couple months later, I'm planning on going out to Detroit for their 5th year anniversary party. So
we might have to do that one. I haven't talked about
buddy.
That could be an up and down. That's good for us.
Yeah. How far is Detroit from you guys?
Hour and a half, maybe.
Oh, nice.
3.5.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
Hour and a half hour. Bobby's going to drive to Toledo and stop. It's about 3.5 hours, but heck yeah, man. Go up and you can see
how
the
far
new
is Toledo from Detroit?
It's a chunk. Detroit's further in than you think.
I'm not from around here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've been
that's
here 20. I've been here 20 plus years. I'm not from around here.
I think the Detroit thing is April 10th
Yeah.
through the 12th.
10th to
So
12th. Yeah, 10th to
And
12th.
a great and by the way, a really couple of cool guys. Sean's I like Sean a lot. Never mind him and he and I's politics mesh, but I really like Sean a lot. He's a good guy.
yeah, they do. He's done an amazing job getting that club up. And
You had him on, Sean?
Yeah, we've had him on.
Yeah,
He was
he's been
on last
on.
week actually with us.
Ah, brilliant. Good stuff.
Yeah. So we'll probably try and get him on one more time at least before they do their thing in April, just to give them a little bit of more publicity. But so I can't wait. I'm sure you guys can't too, and we'll
Absolutely looking forward to it.
promise I will not get as bad as I did in Cleveland on the our brewery crawl day where I lost Platform Brewing out of my memory completely, and I still don't remember.
That was a brownout, baby. That was a brownout. You were fine. You came back.
Come on, Sean.
That hasn't happened to me. I don't think it ever happened to me. So I don't know what. I think I got.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But yeah,
It was just once you got some wings, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll be good. I just can't drink 10% IPA. I just learned my lesson.
Damn IPAs, man.
But I think we'll wrap it up there. I guess. I mean, I don't even think it's a need for a prediction for the weekend. I've never even who we play, Auchinlock Talbot or something. I've never heard of them until we drew them in the Scottish Cup. I thought I knew the teams in Scotland, but I guess new ones are going to pop up on me from time to time. So, I mean, if we don't win 5-0 or more, I feel like it's kind of probably a little bit of a disappointment. But
just win.
Just win. Send a solid start. Get maybe get a few guys some rest and a couple other guys maybe some time to build some confidence going into a big week with a Europa League game on the Thursday and then a massive game against Hearts the following weekend. So
get the rosary out for that one.
Yeah, definitely at Tynecastle.
And sign a striker.
Brought up the last few comments. There's your boy. That must be Peter, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Peter on a little bit. Comment. Bobby left Scotland to Philly in the 80s and starts. Got some good comments here, but I'm running out of time. So, but yeah, well, thanks for coming on tonight, guys.
All right, boys.
Bobby's hand right there. We will get you on again, and we will see you guys in 3 weeks, which I can't wait for. And we'll, I know I say I'm going to be warming up on Thursday, but once I get there, I go 100 miles an hour, just like Bobby. So, can't wait.
You can make 2 days out of it. You pass out and get back up and do it again.
Yes, exactly.
Rally.
All right, boys.
So, hail. We'll talk to you guys next week. We'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll probably be doing a little recap of the Scottish Cup over the weekend and a preview of Europa League against Bologna. So, tune in next week. Get in the comments. It's always good having a lot of comments because I can throw them up there and it makes me laugh. And even though now you make me cough when I laugh, so. But we'll talk to you guys next week. Hail. Thanks, boys, for coming on. Cheers.